There is one vehicle segment where the German premium manufacturers Audi, BMW and Mercedes are absolutely dominating, and that is the segment of premium mid-size estates, the premium station wagons. Now Genesis, the premium brand of the Hyundai Corporation, attacks BMW, Audi and Mercedes in this very core segment in their home market in Europe. Will this daring approach work? Do they stand a chance? We'll find out with the Genesis G70 shooting brake. Here is Thomas Autogefühl. Let's go. A very strong front design, and in the luxury line you have this rather grey front grille. In the sport line it will be black, a little sportier line. Really cool headlamp also with the daytime running light, LED standard, optional matrix LED, and also the turning indicators look very fancy. Ooh, what a side profile, right? Really design oriented, length at 4.69 m or 184 inches, typical mid-size segment. And here quite strong shoulder area, big C-pillar, a very fluent design. Wheels from 18 to 19 inch, these are indeed the optional 19 inch wheels. And the color for today here, our main color is Bond Silver, James Bond Silver. In the rear, a rather round shape, and you can see here the tail lamps are kind of split here. It's a very interesting design idea, something different, so people really see that, oh wow, haven't seen that one before. Well, but in the lower part, Autogefühl fake exhaust alert from the Autogefühl fake exhaust police, a clear case for that. But overall, still a very clean and fluent design in the rear. Here, by the way, the rear view camera, it's not, hidden in a way, by the way, so yeah, that can easily get dirty. And the turning indicators look like these, or the headlight lights, also quite fancy, isn't it? And here another color for you, Majorca blue, but we in Autogefühl also call it Thomas blue, because this is my favorite color thing. This one here also being the sport line, has the black front grille, sportier design, and also black wheels in 19 inch with contrasting red brake calipers. Or what about a white one here? This one here, by the way, with 18 inch wheels, so you can also see if you would also be okay with that. Of course, when you go for smaller wheels, you would have a little bit more dampening comfort. Or what about a red one here in the combination with the sport line again, black grille and also with black wheels. And all in one picture, which one would you actually go for? Tell me in the comments. This is the car key, and it reflects the whole interior. Big buttons, easy to control, but high build quality. You will soon see what I mean. Then door closing sound. Not too good actually, but everything else that is to come in the interior is rather cool. Here also rather soft touch, then the quilting on the inside, and nice quality also from the buttons at the inside of the doors and so on. Steering wheel goes up and down in an electric way. Solid and easy to control. These are here the animal skin seats in the luxury trim or also in the sport trim. But then again, when you go for the base model of this one, you can also get high-grade leatherette seats, and they are way to go, and you also save some money that the price doesn't go too high. Of course, they should also offer animal skin alternatives in the higher trim levels. Seating position in general from the ergonomics, it's really good, very comfortable, and with 1.86 m, 6'1". Yes, that's very important to the Germans. We are das tall. No one would say it in German, but I'm just kidding. Here, still some headroom left. So yeah, really feeling very cozy and comfortable in here. Interior overview, a clean layout and also central design here with contrast stitching, for example. Soft touch also here and here. 10.25 inch touchscreen. And really remarkable what they did here with the rather classic layout. What I mean by that here, volume dial, classic, then big hotkey for map, for example. Here I put to the favorite key, jumping to the Apple CarPlay. Here you can zoom in and out in the map. Then the climate dial, also manual, easy to control it while driving. Heated steering wheel or heated seats or the seat cooling here. Resonates very well from the feedback, and these buttons are so large that you can easily press them while driving, and that's way to go. I think in this case, even better than the German premium manufacturers that are going in this touch-only solution. I think that might look fancy touch-only, but isn't good for controlling. USB charger, and then here inductive charging pad. This is then the automatic gearbox, gear selector, and everything again resonates very well with the quality. Also here the drive mode selector. When you push it left or right, this kind of galvanized metal knurling around, and such a satisfying haptic feedback when you press it left and right. I love these details. Cup holders are also adaptive, and once again, look at that here, this knurling around for this mid-size segment, a superb interior build quality, and yeah, as I said, even better in these respects than a lot of the other competitors. And underneath here, some more space. Steering wheel, yes, thank you. Also hard buttons here for keeping the lane, for example. This is then to switch between the views in the digital instruments. On the left side, volume control, and here also with this, galvanized knurling. Wow, I'm really impressed, and I think this is way to go because people still want that and not this hashtag capacitive BS. Instruments here optional with a 3D view that cannot be displayed on our camera, but with your own eyes you see this kind of layer effect, that it has kind of depth in it. In the middle part you can have some GPS information, not too much, but it looks quite fancy. But it's not possible to show a whole map or so in the instruments. Oh, what's also fancy here, Eco mode, Comfort mode, Sport mode or Sport Plus mode. It's really cool how the instruments adapt in the styling depending on the driving mode you are in. So you can see here the current speed, allowed speed, and also some GPS arrow. Well, what I mean by this take is actually rather this. You can see here the tinting of the front glass. This is very interesting because sometimes you don't need the additional sun visor then, because this actually already helps you to block the sun out. And here one more feature, listen to that click. Here for the sunglass holder, and then once again click, wait for it. Beautiful. Infotainment system, well, the map and the GPS again has this Hyundai or Kia. I'm still not sure, but why do they do this grappling hook style? I don't get it, at least you can zoom in and out like this. And also really cool that you can use this turning knob in the lower area to zoom in and out. That's really helpful. And being here today in one of my favorite regions in Europe, in the Sintra region in Portugal near Cascais. So greetings to all our Portuguese fans as well. Well, with the hotkeys you can navigate quite well. For example, then hop to the Apple CarPlay, and we have here this Lexicon sound system, and this has 15 speakers in the highest build and has a great true in-depth sound coming from the Harman Kardon factory. Then there's then the Apple CarPlay integration that looks quite nice, and most of the time you will use it because the car internal GPS is not that great, and also the rest of the infotainment system. This looks quite nice, the screensaver mode, but the rest here is not super bad, but also not very quick and not that useful. So probably Apple CarPlay or Android Auto with cable connection it is. Then rear doors also with soft touch and the same nice build quality. You can even get heated rear seats in 3 levels, really cool, and it also looks really amazing just from the visuals here in the rear. But what about the space we have? Mid-size segment, and it does work for 4 tall adults. You would need to raise the seat here. I've got in the lowest position as I'm sitting, so it's really close with my feet, needs to be a little bit higher. With a small recess it also kind of works, but it's not abundance of space. Headroom does still work. I can put a hand over my head. It's also a little bit cramped here as for my elbows and so on, so not the best result as for the space. This is a little bit worse than, for example, an Audi A4 Avant or something. But then again, cool solutions here, for example, these hangers here for your jackets are once again, nice, easy, round, high build quality. So really interesting solutions. Sitting in the middle part here, yeah, I know memes are coming up. And Thomas in the back seat, yeah, that doesn't work too well actually. And a huge middle tunnel. They also have all-wheel drive versions. And then in the middle part here, you have 2 more USB-A chargers. Oh, look at that, and they also have this framing, this knurled framing here for the rear cup holders. They are not adaptive here in the rear though. Oh, look at that. Sometimes they call it gentleman's function, that you are able to control the passenger seat here from somewhere else, maybe from the inside of the driver's door, but here in this case at the seat itself. So maybe also when you're sitting here in the back, you can then also control something of the front seat, that you have some more space, for example, in a chauffeur driving position or something. Really helpful feature. Porsche Macan style here for the hatch opening. And yeah, this is about it now. Now the advantages of the estate, or that shooting brake. So here we go. And whereas the sedan is in the liter figure at 330 liters, this one here 465 liters, up to over 1,500. Here you can see fits here with the cabin trolley, and yeah, actually also in a vertical way as well. But then, well, it's not the most practical one, because here you can see these round openings. They look cool design-wise. Here also high build quality, but of course it's not a square dimension. And here, as for the width, this is here 1.40 meters, and you can see here it does not really fit in here. It's more like 90 centimeters or 35 inches. That's better with the competition. The length, however, is 1.40 meters, and the height, well, is really limited here. But here below the cover, we're here at 16 inches or about 40 centimeters. Yeah, and the total length. So I already folded one of the seats. Here we go, typical German measuring. Here we go with 1.75 meters or 68 inches. So more usable than the sedan, definitely, but not best in class as for the practicability. Oh, by the way, when I pull this one here, then everything folds flat like this. Good solution. And another way to open the trunk, this is a very good feature, and we know that from different Hyundai vehicles. You just have the key in your pocket, stand behind the car, it beeps a little bit, and then it automatically opens. That's of course a very nice and handy feature. As for engines, hey, first of all, gas struts to hold them open, quite good. And then also here, strut bars to increase the torsional stiffness. As for the engines, 2.2 liter diesel or a 2 liter petrol engine, both 4 cylinders, with 200 horsepower or 250 horsepower, rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Today we have the 250 horsepower petrol engine with all-wheel drive, 6.4 seconds in the acceleration figure. The 3.3 liter V6 that is available in the sedan in the US, for example, is not available here for the shooting brake because they're not selling that one in Europe. Welcome to Thomas's driving lounge with the Genesis G70 shooting brake. Rear-wheel driven platform, however this one here is the all-wheel drive model, and we'll put it here to the sport mode and see how the acceleration goes also in the corner, how agile is it, and how much will the all-wheel drive help us to get this traction here on this slightly wet road. Let's go. That was 80 kilometers an hour. Pretty good and very smooth. Not the best sound from the engine, but good and fast acceleration. And it was also pretty safe here. Again, the road is slightly wet still from the recent rain. The car as well. But we really had good traction. You see, there was also no sudden movement from the steering wheel or something whatsoever. We have the 19-inch wheels mounted here, and the higher trim levels also come with this ECS, the electronically controlled suspension. That's the adaptive suspension. Sadly not available as an option for the base models. And you know, it helps you to adapt a little bit more to the individual conditions. And here in the sport mode we also have a little bit more feedback from everything that the car has available as parameters. Throttle input as well, steering and so on. Let's see the difference. Sport mode. Comfort mode, yeah. There, for example, in comfort mode, the steering is just lighter. Throttle input is drawn back. And suspension-wise, let's see if we feel any difference. So this is comfort then. I'll put it to sport. Maybe a little bit more feedback, but it's not the biggest difference actually. What's also interesting is that the bolsters of the seats, they change actually with the driving mode. So when you put it in the sports mode, they come a little bit closer towards you. We have a nice windy cornery road here. This is one of my favorite review routes in Portugal, near Cascais. So this is then also this Sintra mountain region, a very beautiful area and also a beautiful coastal line. And it is a lot of fun. Still, it's comfortable. So I think they really master this compromise. However, if we now return back to our comparison to the German premium manufacturers, we've seen then on the exterior, styling wise, really unique, pretty cool. Interior build quality, in some ways even better, at least on par to it. And I like the more classic user interface with bigger buttons with real dials and so on that I found also better, especially in comparison to recent Mercedes models. BMW and Audi are also, maybe as for hard buttons, it's here like Genesis, BMW, Audi, Mercedes. And Mercedes is more on that touch-only side, which is, again, not a good thing at all. So this user interface is overall good, besides the infotainment system that's not that sophisticated. But the driving is, of course, something which the Germans always do very well, and it drives very well here as well. And the steering is also very natural, so there's no dead zone error here, especially in sports mode. I really like it. Maybe in the comfort mode it's a little bit too light. At the same time, you don't have to steer too much, so you have very good feeling for that vehicle. The only thing is that suspension-wise, I've experienced that with the G80 and GV80, the bigger models as well, and also recently with the G70 sedan, which has the same suspension, of course, and the GV70 as well. But the GV70 was always a little bit better, however, than used model. The thing is that the suspension is not really on the same level than with Audi, BMW and Mercedes, even if we have the adaptive suspension here. It is also 19-inch wheels, but still, some bumps in the road are not even out that much by this vehicle here. And at the same time, it's not the sportiest one. So really the suspensions by the Germans, they deliver you more comfort and more sportiness at the same time. So this is the only thing they cannot deliver in the very same way yet. Doesn't mean that it's bad at all. It's still also really good, just not on the same level in that respect. And then the question is, how important is that to you? And also at higher speeds, the noise insulation was good too. So in a lot of different respects, definitely a premium vehicle, no doubt about that. Again, as I said, only suspension with comfort and sportiness, good, but not as good as the Germans. Then again, other aspects are as good or maybe sometimes even better. You also see it when when people are walking on the streets here or something. This car does turn heads because it looks kind of different, and that's also one of the main reasons to go for it in comparison to the Germans, especially if you're in Germany where everyone has these fleet vehicles with good leasing rates from Audi, BMW and Mercedes. Then this one here just sets another tone, some uniqueness. If you want something special that is not, that's not being driven by everyone, then this might be something for you. I also talked to the European manager for the brand, and he actually said they are not targeting the big fleet customers because they know they won't stand a chance there. They rather want more individual customers, small fleets, or also private customers who really think, hey, I want something special and I want like a more personalized customer service. That's where they want to score with their brand, actually. So noise insulation wise, I'm actually also happy. It is also a good motorway vehicle if you're searching for some longer driving. As I said, assist is good also with the cruise control and so on. And so overall a very solid performance. We've seen it today from the Genesis G70 shooting brake. You know that the bigger models, G80 and GV80, they were really clearly less expensive than the Mercedes E-Class or Mercedes GLE then respectively. Here in the midsize segment, the car as it stands here right now, with all the extras, that would be cool, right? 60,000 euros. And that means, also price-wise, they are on a level just like the Germans. Of course, compare now the BMW 3 Series Touring and the Mercedes C-Class Estate or T model to compare the ones we've been talking about.